Hello everyone, very good evening. This is Ajay Shah, and in this class we are going to discuss the government schemes in the field of e-governance, that is by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. And this video lecture is relevant, useful for the people who are preparing for prelims examination 2020. Previously, I discussed a lecture on all the schemes in the field of education by Ministry of HRD. That video is available on my YouTube channel. You can watch that video. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss all the government schemes related to e-governance. And I'm going to discuss only those schemes which I feel that those schemes are relevant for the UPSC aspirants, particularly for the people who are appearing in prelims 2020. So let's start. The first initiative is Womaniya on GEM. So Womaniya is initiative. So as the name suggests, this initiative is for women, and this is particularly for the women who are in the field of business, entrepreneurship, particularly self-help women groups. So before we discuss this scheme, this initiative, let us just see what is GEM. So GEM means Government E-Marketplace. Fine. So as the name suggests, this is nothing but this is a kind of electronic market, and in this particular portal, the government ministries, government departments, and the government central public unit, they basically procure goods and services. Fine. And this is under 100% control of Government of India, and Ministry of Commerce controls this portal, that is GEM. Now I will explain you this portal with an example. Say there is a ministry, say Ministry of Finance is there, and Ministry of Finance wants to procure stationery items for the use in the ministry. Then what this Ministry of Finance will do? Ministry of Finance will request a proposal, and it will ask various entity for a kind of price quotation, and all this business will go on the portal of Government e-Marketplace. Now in this initiative of Womaniya on GM, what government has done? Government under this initiative will procure goods, items, services from the women entrepreneurs, particularly from the women self-help groups. I will give you an example. Say this COVID-19 is going on, and say let us take an example that Ministry of Health want to purchase 1 lakh hand homemade mask. So what this ministry will do, this ministry will float a kind of tender, or we can say a kind of proposal in this GEM portal, that the government within the ambit of Ministry of Health want to purchase 1 lakh homemade mask, and then it will go for purchase of this mask from where? From self-help women group. So indirectly this initiative will help all the women who are in entrepreneurship and the women who are doing any kind of business by making self-help groups. Fine. So this will enable women and women self-help groups to sell handicrafts, handloom, coir products, etc. And the objective is to achieve gender inclusive economic growth. So that's the crux of this scheme. So we'll move to the next initiative, Go AML. This initiative is basically, we'll discuss this in a separate class because this is related with the security issue. So one nation, one fast tag. So as you know that Modi government is going for one nation, one ration, one nation, one citizenship, and similarly Modi government is going for one nation, one fast tag. So fast tag is basically to end a problem which we see in the toll collection in highways. Fine. So what kind of problem will we see in the highways where toll collection goes on? So there are many problems. For example, you must be aware about the VIP culture. So this is very often in news that a person will go to the toll and he will say that I am son of an MLA, I am myself an MLA, or I am an officer, and I want complete exemption from this toll collection. Or you'll always also see something like toll confusion. That means one person will say that the contractor is not allowed to collect the toll, or the amount of the toll will be in dispute and all. So to end all these disputes and all, the government has planned to go complete digital, a kind of automatic toll collection by the use of this fast tag. Fine. So what this fast tag is, basically the fast tag is nothing but fast tag is a technology. It's a kind of chip which is mandatory for all the cars. Now it is not mandatory, but with time we will see that it will be mandatory for all the cars and all. So say for example you are driving a car, then you will have to put a chip that is called this fast tag on your car, and that card will be by which technology? By RFID, that is radio frequency identification technology. So whenever say you have a FASTag in your car and you are going and you are just crossing a toll, then that toll collection center will automatically detect your FASTag, and there will be automatic deduction of some amount from that your card FASTag. Now that card, that FASTag will be linked to your bank accounts, Aadhaar card, and other payment mechanisms, so that you'll have to continuously recharge that FASTag. Now the one FASTag is valid for 5 years. That means if you purchase a FASTag, you'll have to recharge it continuously and it will be valid for 5 years, just like it's a SIM card or like a Tata Sky card. Now, Parivesh scheme, government has come with a Parivesh initiative, and this Parivesh initiative is in the field of environment. Now what exactly this scheme? So this is a very simple scheme, because you might be knowing that in India there is a lot of problem in environment clearance, and we often see news that some businessman would complain that he is not getting environment clearance and he is suffering a lot of hurdles because there are plethora of departments are there, and you need to have clearance from say wildlife department, then forest department, then coastal regulation department and all. So what government has done, government has started a one single window clearance, and by the use of this single window clearance, big projects or the projects which are in substantial in amount, reasonable amount is there, then they can apply for single window clearance. Fine. For example, say you have to make a road project is there, fine, and say the road is being constructed by PWD. Now PWD wants clearance for that road project. So PWD will apply to this Parivesh portal, and then there will be a single window clearance from all the departments. Which departments? Department of Environment clearance will be there, then forest clearance will be there, wildlife clearance will be there, and coastal regulation zone clearance will be there by using a single window clearance. Fine. So this initiative is by Ministry of Environment, and technical support is from National Informatics Center, which is a nodal agency for all kind of digital, for regulating of all kind of digital mechanism in our country. Now this Parivesh will also give you clearance for apart from this environment, forest, wildlife, and coastal regulation zone. This will also act as a single window clearance for central, state, and district level authorities, and it will also include state impact assessment apart from all the clearance from the central government. The next scheme is Pragati scheme. So what is the meaning of Pragati? Pragati means development. So whenever we talk about development, whenever we speak about development, say for example, we speak about the development, the progress of Swachh Bharat mission. So whenever we speak about the progress of a scheme, then it is very important that there should be some kind of monitoring should be there, some kind of regulation should be there. So at least there should be some parameter which basically checks what exactly is the progress, what precisely is the progress of that scheme. So Pragati scheme is a top level monitoring scheme, and it is controlled and regulated by directly from the Prime Minister office. So let us see what exactly this scheme. So this scheme is basically made by targeting two objectives. The first objective is redressal of public grievances, and the second objective is monitoring and accountability of government schemes, say Swachh Bharat Mission or Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Now let us see the full form of this Pragati. So Pragati full form, Pragati stands for proactive governance and timely implementation, and the objective is transparency and accountability. Now let us see in little detail about this scheme. So this scheme is a multi-purpose, not a scheme. This initiative is a multi-purpose initiative and multimodal platform. Fine. So I told you that there are two objectives. The first is to address common man's grievances. So say you are a common man and you have some kind of problem. For example, you have problem with the department, or you are not getting your pension, you are not getting some certificate, then directly you can make a complaint to Prime Minister office, and Prime Minister office will direct this complaint to this Pragati platform. Apart from the addressing the common man's grievances, this Pragati platform simultaneously goes for monitoring and reviewing important government programs. Now it works on technology, and these technologies are very sophisticated technology. So let us see what exactly is this program about. So in this program, Prime Minister of India, he basically discusses the issues with central and state government. It's a three-tier system. So three-tier system is there, a layer of three system. In the top layer, we have Prime Minister office, then we have union government secretaries, and then we have chief secretaries of the state. So since all the three-layer governance system is there, and that is why this is very important, this initiative. And in this initiative, Prime Minister directly controls the monitoring of the flagship programs of Government of India and also of states. So every month on 4th Wednesday at 3 p.m. this meeting takes place, and this day is also known as Pragati Day. Fine. In this platform, we have basically three latest sophisticated technology. The first technology is digital data management. So all the data is related to the public grievances, or all the data is related to the progress of a government schemes, that is digitally managed. And while the Prime Minister takes a meeting with the secretaries and the chief secretaries, then all the digital data, they can be visualized in that meeting itself. And apart from this, we have a concept of video conferencing. So video conferencing, in this video conferencing, Prime Minister interacts with the secretaries and chief secretaries. And then we have geospatial technology. So what is geospatial technology? Prime Minister, right from sitting and in the Delhi, can actually monitor the projects by the use of this geospatial technology. Say, for example, we have to monitor, Prime Minister has to monitor the scheme of Ganga mission. Now, Ganga mission, since he has to see the Ganga mission, by the use of this geospatial technology, he can directly see what steps or what is the progress of Ganga mission going on there. Fine. That's all about Pragati scheme. Next initiative scheme, we have PRAKASH Portal. Fine. So PRAKASH Portal is basically initiative which is for the continuous supply of coal in the country. Fine. Now let us see what is this. So let us see the issues. So you might have heard about coal gate scheme, that is CAG report. So according to CAG report, basically the government functionaries and the government tendering process, there were a lot of flaws in the government tendering process. And if you see this history of this report, CAG report during the time of Vinod Rai, then there were a lot of hurdles in the supply of coal to the actual power plant. So this Prakash portal is nothing, and it stands for Power Rail Koila Availability through the Supply of Harmony. And this portal is for better coordination, a kind of coordination among whom? Coordination among all the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? First, Ministry of Power is obviously the stakeholder, then Ministry of Coal, then Coal India Limited, and then Railways and Power Utility Services. Fine. So this scheme, this initiative is basically to ensure the adequate availability of coal at the thermal power plants. Fine. So this, since this portal will act as a kind of coordination, act as a kind of integration between among all the stakeholders, so there will be better supply management. And then there will be mapping and monitoring of entire coal supply chain. Fine. For example, say 100 kg of coal is being extracted from a plant in Jharkhand, then where that coal exactly is, what is the status of that coal, all that can be visualized by the use of a mapping, so that the power utility companies or the Ministry of Coal, they can have a better coordination, and there will be effective supply of coal during this business e-Becre initiative. So this initiative is very important. So this is related with NPA, that is non-performing assets. Fine. And also the bank defaulter. So Vijay Mallya, he has fled the country. Nirav Modi has fled the country. So whenever a businessman leaves the country, or not the country, but whenever a businessman becomes bankrupt or become defaulter, then what bank does? Bank basically takes the property of that businessman. Say for example, if there is a businessman Mr. A, and he has taken a car loan, and he is not able to pay the loan of that car. So what bank will do? Bank will go and bank will seize that car. Now what bank will do with that car? Bank will go for online auction of that car. So this is basically a initiative of banking sector, in which banks and any loan giving agency, they try to recover their loans and all. Fine. So now there is a lot of news on corruption in this kind of things. For example, say there is a State Bank of India in Pune, and that State Bank of India is having say 100 of cars, and the State Bank of India wants to sell those cars. Then what State Bank of India do, or the manager will do? He might enter in a kind of secret pact with a second hand car businessman. Fine. So for example, say we have a company of Mahindra which is in the business of second hand car sale. Then the bank manager of State Bank of India, he might enter into a secret pact with that company, and so there will be a lot of corruption. So deal with this corruption, this initiative is there in e Bakery initiative, and this is to deal with the corruption and bring transparency in e-auction. Now, what this portal will do, this portal will help in online auction of all the properties. Those are being attached by the banks, and this platform basically provide links to all the public sector e-auction sites. Now let us see further. So there is a single window access to the information on the properties for e-auction. For example, say you want to purchase a car from the bank, and say you want to purchase a safari car, then you will go to the this e-bakery portal, and then you will see there that safari car is available in PNB also, safari car is available in State Bank of India also. You will find the photographs of that car, you can make comparison, and you can decide which car you have to purchase, either from State Bank of India or from Punjab National Bank. So as per the recent data at present from with all the banks, there are 2,400 residential, 576 commercial, and 333 industrial properties are there. And all the such properties, the worth is 2.9 crore. That is huge money. Now let us move to the next initiative. So this is initiative again. This is Central Access Control System, CACS and EBAS. So this initiative, this electronic initiative, is from Ministry of Civil Aviation. And let us see what is this initiative. So this initiative has two objectives. The first objective is to increase the security of airport, and the second objective is the ease of business. Fine. So now this Ministry of Civil Aviation, airports, cargos, they all are involved in different kind of business. So the prime business is traveling of passengers, but apart from that, the transport of goods and all is also one of the prime business. Now, because of this business, there are multiple traffic in the airport. Fine. So you will see the people moving in airport, out of airport. Then you will see the cargos moving in the airport and out of the airport. So to enhance the security purpose of this kind of movement, the government has decided to go for entire digital mechanism. Fine. So there will be a multi-layered security system, and there will be all the digital mechanism will be there, like biometric authentication will be there, then pin-based identity verification will be there, then contactless smart card will be there, RFID, radio frequency identification based automatic vehicle access control system will also be there. Fine. So for example, say there is a car, and that car has to move in the entire space of airport, then instead of manual checking and all checking will be by automatic mechanism, like this biometric authentication and all. Apart from this, I told you that the initiative also has an objective of ease of doing business. So it basically aims to achieve paperless office. That means making this Bureau of Civil Aviation complete paperless, and increasing the transparency, making it user friendly, efficient and all. And apart from this EBCS project will also go for training module of all the 1.5 lakhs of employees, those employees who are employed in the Ministry of Civil Aviation, airports, basically in aviation industry. So we have a new initiative that is called Build for Digital India's program. Fine. So Build of India digital program is nothing but Build of India digital program is basically a kind of collaboration, a kind of agreement between whom? Between Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and Google. So Ministry of Electronics and Google, they have entered into agreement for this Build for India program. And in this program, they will give the chance to engineering students. So recall your engineering college time. So many of you might be from engineering college. So when we are in engineering college, we often say that I have this idea and what I want to translate this idea into reality and all. So Google will give you a chance. Google will give the chance to the engineering students, and say an engineering student is there and he wants to create he wants to translate his idea in robotics or ideas in artificial intelligence, then Google will help him. Fine. So engineering students will be given a chance to end the social problems by the use of robotics, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, etc. Fine. For example, say COVID-19 is going on, and say that an engineering student is there and he has an idea to deal with this COVID-19, then he will be given support by Google. Fine. And so the chance will be given to transform idea into reality on key technologies like machine learning, cloud computing, Android, etc. And this entire process will be by Google's developer student club network. So Google has a club that is called Student Club Network, and this club will basically implement this program of Build for Digital India's program. And Google will also act as a mentor. Now, Operation Digital Board, I have discussed this scheme in Ministry of HRD. So just go through that video. Now, National Knowledge Network. So what is National Knowledge Network? So India is having an ambition to become a knowledge economy. India is having an ambition to become a knowledge power. So right from a very long period of time, for example, during UPA government, there was a knowledge commission headed by Sam Petroda. And now we have Atal Innovation Mission. And this Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog is having a prime role, a fundamental role. So the basic objective of this National Knowledge Network is to create a kind of network among all the research institutes, right? So the objective is to create a pan-India network. Pan-India network will be there to create a knowledge-based society without boundaries. For example, Indian Institute of Science is there. So Indian Institute of Science is having a class research institute is called this Indian Institute of Science. So Indian Institute of Science will be having a kind of network with other engineering college or other research institutes in a small town, right? So the intention, the objective is to connect all the knowledge and research institutions in the country using high bandwidth, right? So by using the high bandwidth so that there should be no bar to the communication, this entire process will go. And the knowledge revolution will be there by connecting all the 1500 institutions. So the target is to connect all the 1500 institutions. There will be collaborative research. Research will be there. Development, innovation, advanced distance education will be there. Fine. So, for example, say there is a college called IIT Delhi, and IIT Delhi is going for some kind of research, and say a college, MIT College in Pune. Both colleges are going on doing research on robotics. Then they both can collaborate with each other. They both can make a link with each other. And IIT Delhi, if IIT Delhi is having some kind of advanced lecture, advanced mentorship, then that can give that mentorship to that college, MIT. Fine. And also there will be a linkage from the global network, global research institute. So if a research institute is there, say in France or in Japan, so they will also make a kind of network linking with the research institutes in India. So recently this government of India has enhanced this national knowledge network to Bangladesh. So I will just end this session here. In the next session, that means the part second, we will discuss some more schemes related to digital India. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you.